In this video, I am going to show you the often forgotten task of adding sealant to your tires, and I'm going to show you a couple cool tools along the way on making this task easier. All right, when was the last time you added sealant to your tires? Let me tell you guys, if you're using tubeless, it's something you need to do periodically. You know, once every 4 months, maybe 6 months. And maybe the past 6 out of 8 flats that I got, or the flats of my group got, was because there was no sealant in the tire. You know, they thought they had sealant, but they just haven't done it in a while. This thing just dries up periodically, so you have to refill it. Also, it degrades. Sometimes there's sealant in there, but it's just oil. So it's not gonna do a good job sealing a puncture. Okay, so here's what we do. And what I'm gonna show you is the more subtle way of doing it. The obvious way of doing it is removing your tire and checking in there and pouring some sealant. But it is something that's kind of intrusive. You know, you have to remove the tire usually, and you have to break the seal. If you have a perfect seal on your tire, the last thing you want to do is break it. So this way, we won't be breaking the seal. So what you want to do is you need one of these valve core removers. This one is a stands, and open the valve. You can let the air out. You don't have to, or remove the core. Make sure the valve set doesn't spin, and then hold that core as you move it, because the air pressure will just come shooting out of that. Okay, so there it is. There's your core. Put it in a nice, safe, clean place. And the really cool tool that I'm going to show you guys today is this guy. This is the Park Tool TSI-1, and it's super cool. I think it's under $30, but it is like high-grade plastic. It has a tube that inserts in the valve, and that's replaceable. It has metal seals right here, so it is durable, and it has a big plunger, big handle with nice smooth action. So it has a plastic mechanicals with a seal on it, and I'm pretty sure that seal is probably replaceable as well. If you're lucky, your valve is a metal variety, you will be able to insert the tube of this tool all the way through. And that's pretty cool. Why is this cool? Because if you have this case, you can check the level of your sealant. You can just put this facing to the ground, and you pull it, and you'll be able to pull the sealant out. So you'll be able to check if there's sealant in there. If you have these rubber variety valves, they kind of get compressed in there, so they won't let the tube through. So you won't be able to check your sealant. Okay? What you need next is sealant. Boom. And my advice for sealant is get the biggest one that you can afford. This one's $100. I believe it's a gallon. By WTV, a very good sealant, because it lasts a long time. It seals tires really good. And ideally, you want this in a smaller container so you can just shake it, get the sediments out. And how much sealant do you want? You usually want 2 to 3 ounces, unless you have a huge tire. Then you want 3 to 4 ounces. And the cool thing with this is now you're actually able to measure how much you're putting in. So I won't put too much. So this is 1 ounce, because this already has sealant. The reason I say get the biggest sealant you can afford is because it's a volume. It's like milk or whatnot. The bigger the container, the cheaper it is per liter. So 2 to 4 ounces, or in milliliters, it's about 40 cc is what we have here. So we put the valve to the ground. We put the needle in, the tube in as far as you can go, and just press. And we could do it a couple more times. Okay, and so now we are fairly empty. Now it's not completely empty. What I want you to do next is, just wash this with water. So just plunger and get water in and out of this, because if you leave the sealant in, it's going to dry up, and this thing might clog up. It's not as bad as your normal little syringes, but this can still clog up. So make sure you clean it. And now we have sealant in there. We want to get our core. Hopefully you still have it. Easiest like this so it doesn't fall off. And you tighten it as much as you can. And you notice the core, the valve itself is moving because it's kind of loose. You can hold it. You want the core as tight as you can because some pumps, they loosen that, or you don't want to lose that. And I wouldn't say, if you're desperate, you tighten the valve itself with a needle nose. It works, but there's a big downside to that, which is if you get a flat tire on the trail, you need a needle nose to get it out. Otherwise, you're SOL. You can't put your tube in when you have to. My advice is to just press on the valve right here, compress it. There's, it's a big piece of rubber, and while you're compressing it, then tighten it. So you can go quite a long ways doing that trick. And now we can tighten our core even more. Very nice. Okay, and then for my final trick, you have your mini pump, your floor pump. But really my favorite right now, even more than the floor pump, is one of these CO2 compressors, not CO2, one of these lithium brushless compressors. This one's from SICK Plus. And what I do is I just turn it on and set it to 24 PSI. Put it in, and then right there, hands-free. 1 minute later, a little over 1 minute, it's done. And it'll stop at the perfect pressure. So there you go, my friends, adding sealant to your tube. Don't forget to do it because you're gonna be out there with a flat tire. And the really cool tools are the Park Tool TSI-1, a core remover, and a little pump of your choice. My choice right now is this SICK Plus Pro. Links will be in the description. Thank you for buying through them, as it will support the channel. Thanks a ton.